I want you guys to know that I have 3 kids, and I say that as a prelude to this. This is the thing I'm most proud of in my life. And just so you understand how proud I am of it, that's why I'm pointing out that I have 3 kids that this had to compete against. This is a half of a wild pig. And you can see, here's a little arrow hole that went into the pig, right there. And it's from Texas, and we were down there hunting pigs, and we went out one day to find the smallest pig possible, the smallest wild pig possible that still had fat. And this guy's got fat. I have a new outdoor cookbook out. That's what we're here to talk about today in large measure. And in the book, I explain how one of my primary introductions to outdoor cooking and sort of the celebratory aspects of outdoor cooking was related to having pig roast. When I was a kid, where I grew up in Western Michigan, when people wanted to honor a big event, they had a pig roast. I remember my neighbor turned 40, there was a pig roast. I graduated from high school, we had a pig roast. When I got married, I tried to have a pig roast but got shot down. It's just, pig roasts are how you do stuff, and you have to do pig roast outside because it generates a lot of grease, it generates a lot of smoke, it generates a lot of heat. It's like, by definition, outdoor cooking. We're inside now, of course, because I'm gonna prep the pig in here. Then we're gonna do our cooking outside, and then we're gonna do some sides. And all the sides we prep are gonna be from the new cookbook. I don't think of roasting a hog as a recipe, so to speak. I think of roasting a hog or a half hog or whatever as more of a method, as a preparation style. A thing you'll find in the new book, there's a lot of methods. There's a lot of preparation styles. There's also a lot of recipes. There's over 100 recipes, like meaning tablespoon of this, teaspoon of that, cooked for this long at that temp. Like, there's 100 of those. But there's also a lot of things that are meant to inspire you or give you great ideas. So we're going to discuss how to cook a pig. It's not a recipe, it's inspiration, it's how to do a preparation, and part of the fun is getting it all figured out. Now, when I was a boy, everyone knew that when you had a pig roast, you rubbed that pig down with garlic salt. So I have granulated garlic, and I have some Himalayan pink salt here, and I'm just using that because I have it. And we're just gonna start one end to the other, giving it a decent coating of the garlic. And I'm gonna come through behind that, give it a decent coating of the salt. But you could, again, it's not a recipe, right? It's a preparation. You could do any number of rubs, whatever you like to eat. The salt's gonna not wanna stick as much when we get to the skin side, so you kinda wanna we're gonna do it and then just let it sit a minute to get a little bit tacky and stick. Okay, so that's seasoned enough for now, at least to get it going. Because that's the main objective. We want to give this a few hours. I want to get it going. Then we can come in and make some sides. It's pretty simple, garlic salt, but we're going to have some accompaniments to go with it. So let's bring this out and get it started. So this cooker, my buddy Travis made me this cooker. It's got trap handles. It's made out of a barrel. And it's got a temperature gauge on it. Now, I'd like to keep it at or just below 300 degrees. You can always later crank it up to finish the job, but I want to keep it at 300 degrees. It's a wild pig too, so there's the possibility that this pig has trichinosis. So you do want to get this pig cooked up to a safe temperature. Like, you don't want to eat wild pig rare or medium rare, even you want it to be done. 300 means it's not going to cook too fast, but we're still going to get to a safe temperature without needing to drag this into tomorrow. So I'm just going to watch this now and see what happens. I got some controls here. I can limit airflow in. But right now we're sitting really good. And it's just a waiting game now. We're going to get into a couple sides from the book. Now, one of these things in here you'll see is called octopus chimichurri. And this is a submission that I begged my friend Kimmy Werner to give to us. The thing about chimichurri, though, is chimichurri is the best. It's great on everything. One of my favorite things, we eat a lot of just venison roast, venison loin, whatever. Once you make a jar of chimichurri and you cook venison and slice it, you can have it sliced hot, sliced cold, whatever, and put chimichurri on it. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal on pork. It's phenomenal on fish. It's a great thing to top anything with, including the pork that we're cooking out there in the smoker. So I'm going to do Kimmy's version. There's many chimichurris around. This is the one you want. It's really good. But the first thing we want to do to make Kimmy Werner's chimichurri from page 71 is cut up a cup of cilantro and a cup of flat leaf parsley. Next step on the chimichurri is to do some onion. And here's the deal to keep in mind. It always tastes better after a day. And then weirdly, it tastes better after 2 days, tastes better after 3 days. So it's like its quality goes like this. At some point, it tapers off because the colors start to fade. It just looks like something that's been in your fridge too long. But for the first couple days, it gets better. So if you can make it a day in advance, 2 days in advance, that's a really good idea. Then we got garlic, which is ready to go. Minced garlic. I almost forgot oregano, so we're gonna do that. And we're gonna do 2 sprigs. There. Salt, red pepper flakes, vinegar, and then do the olive oil. Okay, there. It's all done except the waiting. You can eat it. There's no reason you couldn't eat it right now. But it's so much better if you can make that a little bit ahead of time and let it kind of mellow in the fridge. And it gets like it gets a little more pasty when you let it sit for a while. Right now, all the leaves are kind of held together and they have like a little bit of a crisp to them. And being in that vinegar and oil, it'll soften them and it'll blend. All the flavors meld together. We're still hovering. No, she's climbing. Hovering right around 300. Get a little bit hot. And here's the main thing I'm interested in at this point. My heat's been good. So what we're doing is we're doing an offset or indirect heat. The hog's laying over here, front leg, back leg. I got this pocket right here between legs. That's where my heat's at. My main heat source is right here in this hole. But let's take a look to make sure. So I'm gonna do this. And I want to confirm that like this isn't just like charred. It's not charcoal. There's still moisture. It's not all black. The indirect heat's working. We're making progress on cooking it. And we're not ruining it. So that's all I wanted to see when I flipped this thing up. If I wanted to turn the heat up, at this point I could have this thing done in 45 minutes, right? But I could also keep my heat chill, keep it down a little lower than 300, drop down to 250, even whatever, and I could hold it and prolong it. So let's say you were gonna have people over at 5 o'clock and it's 2 o'clock right now. I'd be like, no problem, man. I'm gonna hover it and I'll take it off right beforehand. If I was having people over at 3 o'clock and it's 2 o'clock right now, I'd say, no problem, I'm gonna get it finished. Or I get it where it's all finished and I like all my temperatures, then I lower the heat way down and just keep it in, 150 degrees in here and just let it hang out. Over too much time, you could dry it out and burn it, but for the kind of times we're talking about, like a handful of hours here and there, you're really not gonna run into a problem. In the MeatEater Outdoor Cookbook, you will find on page 32 a few fancy ways to dress up your hot dogs. Now, hot dogs being a staple of outdoor cooking, like when you were a kid, how many times did you put a hot dog on a stick and roast it over a fire? And this is a way to pre-make or to make in the field a handful of really great dressings that turn every kid's favorite meal into a grown-up's favorite meal. These fancy ways, like a kimchi slaw is one. We have a Chicago-style relish is another. Peppernata style is another. These are also great accompaniments. So we're going to do the Peppernata style hot dog topping, which is really just a topping. We're going to do that and use it for our roasted hog. We're going to start out by doing some pepper strips. Move on to a jalapeno. Then half of a yellow onion. Okay, I got a big saucepan going. I'm gonna start adding in veggies. I'm gonna stir that all around. So we got the onion, bell pepper, jalapeno, some salt, garlic, and dried oregano. That's gonna let off a bit of water as it cooks. And as that water evaporates out of there and stuff starts to stick, we're gonna add water in and cook it down. Add water, cook it down just for a little while until everything's cooked down and blended, and then do vinegar. But for now, just let that cook a minute. Okay, this peppernata's been cooking down. Now, if you look in there, you see stew-like, right? And the last thing you do, just take that now. This is what makes it taste like real vibrant, clean. Just take that vinegar, put that in there. So this is now, like I said, it's stew-like, right? There's some moisture in there, but more like a sauce than water. You can let that sit in your fridge for a few days if you'd like. It's great right out of the pan. And that's it. It's a really nice accompaniment. So we've done an amazing job of hovering in the 300 range. Now we're like, 315, 320. And take a look here. And here's a couple things we're starting to see. One, it's looking beautiful. See how that skin is starting to break away? That's a good sign. And the meat underneath it's getting nice and soft. That looks great. I don't even need the meat thermometer. Let's just take a look. 175, so plenty warm. That looks beautiful. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, that's nice. So that never got messed up. That never got burnt. Skin's nice and dry. Joints are starting to come apart. I'm gonna pull that off and take a look. Get my cut board. Okay, so there we have the roast wild hog. And again, spent our whole life roasting pigs and only recently started experimenting with trying to do wild hogs, which is a very maligned animal that a lot of people tell you is no good. It's great. You can even do something like this, like a roast pig recipe with it, which is discussed in the MeatEater Outdoor Cookbook. And then a bunch of sides. We have Boston baked beans, which go with anything. You can cook it outside on a fire. You can start it inside, finish it outside on a fire. Really versatile. Chimichurri, which is, accompanies a grilled octopus recipe in the book, but can be used anything like this. Phenomenal on roast meat. Peppernata in the book. It's paired with hot dogs, like every kid's favorite outdoor meal. Kind of makes it like a grown-up, good tasting version to do this. Also really good with fish. Really good with all kinds of roast meat. So everything in here is very versatile. And the book covers, again, 100 recipes, many, many methods, many preparations, how to rig stuff up, how to cook stuff with just natural materials, rocks, willow sticks, you name it, how to make things, do things. It's got recipes from the Ice Age, recipes from the present, backyard to backcountry, everything you need for outdoor cooking right here.